Here is today's problem. The first equation we have is x multiplied by y equals 2. The next equation in our system is y multiplied by z equals 3. The third equation states that z multiplied by x equals 4. Our ultimate goal is to find the total sum of x, y, and z. We can begin our process by looking closely at the first equation. We want to isolate the variable y on one side of the equals sign. To achieve this, we need to divide both sides of the equation by x. Since their product is 2, the variable x certainly cannot be 0. We can confidently write y equals 2 divided by the variable x. Now we will move on to the second equation in our given system. This specific equation tells us that y multiplied by z equals 3. We can replace the variable y with the fraction to divide it by x. This substitution gives us 2 over x multiplied by z equals 3. We can rewrite this algebraically as 2 times z over x equals 3. Let us multiply both sides of this new equation by the variable x. Doing this gives us the expression 2 times z equals 3 times x. Now we divide both sides of this equation by the whole number 2. We find that the variable z equals 3 times x divided by 2. We now have both y and z expressed completely in terms of x. We can substitute this expression for z into the third equation. The third equation is z multiplied by the variable x equals 4. We replace z with our expression of 3 times x divided by 2. We now have 3x divided by 2 multiplied by x equals 4. We multiply the variables in the numerator to get 3x squared. This algebraic step leaves us with 3x squared over 2 equals 4. We multiply both sides of the equation by the number 2 right now. This specific calculation results in 3x squared equaling 8. We divide both sides by 3 in order to isolate the x squared term. We find that x squared is exactly equal to the fraction 8 over 3. We take the square root of both sides to find the exact value of x. This operation gives us x equals the positive or negative square root. The square root of the fraction 8 over 3 is our current value. We definitely need to simplify the square root of 8 over 3. The square root of a fraction is the square root of the numerator. We then divide this value by the square root of the denominator. We get the square root of 8 over the square root of 3. The whole number 8 is equal to the number 4 multiplied by 2. The square root of the number 4 is exactly equal to the number 2. So the square root of 8 is simply 2 times the square root of 2. We now have to root 2 divided by the square root of 3. We should rationalize the denominator of this particular fraction. We multiply the top and bottom of the fraction by square root of 3. The top becomes 2 times the square root of 2 times root 3. Root 2 multiplied by root 3 is exactly the square root of 6. The top of our fraction is now simply 2 times the square root of 6. The bottom of the fraction becomes root 3 multiplied by root 3. This simplifies perfectly to the whole number 3 in the denominator. Thus, x equals positive or negative to root 6 divided by 3. We will first do the calculations using the positive value for x. Let us set x equal to positive 2 times the square root of 6 over 3. We need to find the corresponding numerical value for the variable y. Our earlier derived equation was y equals the number 2 divided by x. We substitute our positive value of x directly into this exact equation. We get 2 divided by the entire fraction to root 6 over 3. Dividing by a fraction is the exact same as multiplying by its reciprocal. We take the number 2 and multiply it by 3 over to root 6. The 2 in the numerator and the 2 in the denominator completely cancel. This useful cancellation leaves us with the number 3 divided by root 6. We need to rationalize the denominator of this fraction as well. We multiply both the numerator and the denominator by root 6. The numerator becomes 3 multiplied by the square root of 6. The denominator becomes root 6 multiplied by the square root of 6. Root 6 multiplied by root 6 is just the whole number 6. We now have the fraction 3 root 6 divided by the number 6. We can simplify this fraction by dividing the top and bottom by 3. 3 divided by 3 is exactly equal to the whole number 1. 6 divided by 3 is exactly equal to the whole number 2. Therefore, our positive value for y is the square root of 6 over 2. Now we must find the corresponding value for the final variable z. We previously found that z equals 3 times x divided by 2. We plug in our positive value for the variable x once again here. We have 3 halves multiplied by 2 root 6 divided by 3. We multiply the numerators together to get the new top fraction value. 3 times 2 root 6 gives us 6 root 6 in the numerator. We multiply the denominators together to get the new bottom value. 2 multiplied by 3 gives us the number 6 in the denominator. We have a 6 in the numerator and a 6 in the denominator right now. These two 6's cancel each other out completely in this fraction. This leaves us with just the square root of 6 for the variable z. We have successfully found the full set of values for x, y, and z. For the positive case, the variable x is to root 6 over 3. The corresponding value we just calculated for y is root 6 over 2. The value we subsequently calculated for z is simply the square root of 6. The original problem asks us to find the total sum of x, y, and z. We need to add 2 root 6 over 3 to root 6 divided by 2. Then we must add the final value of root 6 to that intermediate result. We are adding together multiple fractions that have different denominators. We must find a common denominator for all 3 terms in our sum. The denominators we have right now are 3, 2, and a hidden one. The lowest common multiple of the numbers 3, 2, and 1 is 6. We will convert each term to an equivalent fraction over the number 6. The first term is 2 times the square root of 6 divided by 3. We multiply the top and bottom of this first fraction by the number 2. 2 times 2 root 6 gives us for root 6 for the new numerator. 3 times 2 gives us the number 6 for our new common denominator. The first term simply becomes for root 6 divided by the number 6. The second term in our ongoing sum is root 6 divided by 2. We multiply the top and bottom of this particular fraction by 3. This straightforward calculation gives us 3 root 6 divided by 6. The third term in the sum is just the square root of 6 over 1. We multiply the top and bottom of this specific fraction by 6. This gives us 6 root 6 divided by the whole number 6. Now we can add the 3 equivalent fractions together quite easily. We add 4 root 6 over 6 plus 3 root 6 over 6 right now. We also add the third term of 6 root 6 over 6 to the total sum. Since the denominators are now exactly the same, we add the numerators. 4 root 6 plus 3 root 6 gives us exactly 7 root 6. 7 root 6 plus 6 root 6 precisely equals 13 root 6. We place this combined numerator directly over our common denominator. The final result is 13 times the square root of 6 over 6. This is the calculated sum of x, y, and z for the positive value of x. We must not forget that we also had a negative starting value for x. We need to go through the exact same rigorous process for this case. Let us set x equal to negative 2 root 6 divided by the number 3. We first need to find the corresponding negative value for the variable y. We use the very same equation where y equals 2 divided by the variable x. We substitute our negative value of x directly into the denominator. We get 2 divided by the fraction negative 2 root 6 over 3. We multiply 2 by the reciprocal of the fraction on the bottom. This means we multiply 2 by negative 3 over 2 root 6. The 2's cancel out perfectly just like they did in the previous case. We are left with negative 3 divided by the square root of 6. We rationalize the denominator by multiplying top and bottom by root 6. The numerator becomes negative 3 times the square root of 6. The denominator becomes root 6 multiplied by root 6, which is just 6. We simplify negative 3 root 6 over 6 by dividing by the number 3. This results in our value for y being exactly negative root 6 over 2. Now we need to find the corresponding value for the variable z. We use the established equation where z equals 3/2 multiplied by x. We substitute the negative value for x into this algebraic expression. We multiply 3/2 by negative 2 root 6 divided by 3. The 3 in the numerator cancels completely with the 3 in the bottom. The 2 in the numerator cancels perfectly with the 2 in the bottom. We are left with just the negative sign and the square root of 6. Our calculated value for z is simply the negative square root of 6. We now have the complete and accurate set of values for the negative case. The value for x is negative 2 root 6 divided by the number 3. The value for y is negative square root of 6 divided by the number 2. The final value for z is simply the negative square root of 6. We must find the sum of x, y, and z for this specific set of values. We add negative 2 root 6 over 3 to negative root 6 over 2. Then we subtract the square root of 6 from that combined intermediate result. We will use the same common denominator of 6 that we calculated earlier. The first fraction becomes negative 4 root 6 divided by 6. The second fraction becomes negative 3 root 6 divided by 6. The third term becomes negative 6 root 6 divided by the number 6. We add the numerators together while keeping the common denominator as 6. Negative 4 minus 3 gives us a value of negative 7 root 6. Negative 7 minus 6 gives us exactly negative 13 root 6. The The sum is negative 13 times the square root of 6 over 6. We have now found two possible valid answers for the sum of x, y, and z. It is always a very good practice to check our solutions in the equations. We will verify the positive set of values first to be absolutely sure. Our original first equation was x multiplied by y equals the number 2. We plug into root 6 over 3 for x and root 6 over 2 for y. We multiply the numerators to get to times root 6 times root 6. Root 6 times root 6 is 6, so the numerator is just 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12, which is the final value for the entire numerator. We multiply the denominators 3 and 2 to get the whole number 6. We divide the numerator 12 by the denominator 6 to get 2. This perfectly matches the first equation in our original given system. Next we check the second equation, which is y times z equals 3. We multiply root 6 over 2 by the simple square root of 6. The numerators give root 6 times root 6, which is simply 6. The denominator remains 2, so we have the specific fraction 6 over 2. 6 divided by 2 is exactly equal to the whole number 3. This confirms the second equation in our system is fully satisfied. Finally, we check the third equation, where z times x equals 4. We multiply root 6 by 2 root 6 divided by the number 3. Root 6 times root 6 gives us 6, so we have 2 times 6 on top. 2 times 6 is 12, and we naturally keep the 3 in the denominator. 12 divided by 3 is exactly equal to the whole number 4. The third equation works perfectly with our positive set of values. We can also very quickly verify the negative set of values we calculated. When we multiply two negative numbers, the final result is always positive. Negative x times negative y will give the exact same positive product. Negative 2 root 6 over 3 times negative root 6 over 2 is 2. Negative y times negative t will also yield a positive final result. Negative root 6 over 2 times negative root 6 is indeed 3. Negative z times negative x will behave in the exact same mathematical manner. Negative root 6 times negative 2 root 6 over 3 is exactly 4. Both the positive and negative sets of solutions are entirely correct. We have fully solved the system of equations and found the required sums. The valid values are positive and negative 13 root 6 over 6. We have ensured that absolutely no mathematical errors were made here. It is satisfying to see the algebraic rules function so consistently. Every single equation in the given system is now completely balanced. Thank you for watching this detailed mathematical solution video today. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more math content.